What's poppin'? Let's dive right into NXT Halloween Havoc from October the 25th, 2025. A really solid, fun 2.5-hour show. Thoroughly enjoyed it. Really, really good stuff. There was one match I didn't really like all that much. That was because of the finish. And that was the co-main event with Darkstate and the Broken Hardyz. I did not like that. But everything else on the show was pretty good for the most part. So we kicked the show off with the first match of the night. Jevon Evans and Leon Slater, they defeat La Parka and Mr. Iguana. So match was solid. Crowd was into it. La Parka got a really good reaction. I wish that he would have gotten a longer entrance, but Mr. Iguana came out immediately and the roof blew off the place for a small bit. So that was cool there. Match was fun. A lot of bouncing, a lot of kicks, flips, and dives from Jevon and Leon. They're basically two sides of the same coin, but I like them both because the brothers are good. The brothers are really, really good in ring. Again, these guys are in their early 20s. They're only 21. They'll get there, right? Like, I could see these guys, especially Jevon Evans, eventually being NXT champion. Leon Slater, I could see him being TNA World Heavyweight Champion. Depending on how long he stays in TNA, he'll probably stay in TNA for a good couple of years until NXT grabs him up, basically. But the match was fun for the most part. Leyeska ended up getting involved. So there was a partner match where Mr. Iguana, he was staring down both Jevon Evans and Leon Slater. And everybody thought that they were going to... they thought that Mr. Iguana was going to chop them, but he ended up bringing in Leyeska and chopped them with that, which was really cool and funny. So, yeah. And then the finish came when Leon hit the 450 Swanton for the 1, 2, 3. Really good stuff there. So it makes perfect sense. This was just a showcase match to get the NXT audience ingrained in the fact they're going to bring in more AAA guys, which is great. So that's good there. So hopefully sometime next year we can get a TNA, NXT, Evolve, AAA crossover show, a Worlds Collide show, which would be very, very fun. Do maybe like a good 8 to 10 matches at least. Well, no, I wouldn't even say, my bad, 10 is too much. I would do at least 8 matches of a Worlds Collide card, a few 6-man tags, a few, fatal 4-ways, and a couple singles matches and stuff like that. So that's really good there. So hopefully we do get a Worlds Collide event with all of this in due time. Moving on, so this leads us into Sol Ruca. She's backstage with Zaria. So Sol is basically sad about her current injury. That's what she's kind of down about is, her being injured, her knee injury. We don't know, well, her leg injury. We don't know how long she's going to be out, but her injury predicament is not good, and it sucks. And Sol will probably have to change her style. She will. Like, I don't think she needs to do the Soul Snatcher for a while anymore. That is kind of, dangerous. It really is. You're going up and down. You're literally going up in the air and trying to land like an RKO / cutter, basically, But, yeah. So Zaria promises to defend Sol Ruca's championship with honor. Izzy Dame and Tatum Paxley, they interrupt the conversation. Izzy declares that Tatum will be the new NXT Women's Champion, which that did come true. And we will talk about that. That was great. That was fucking great. Tatum is so grateful to have the Culling in her life. Zaria says that Izzy Dame won't be a champion by the end of the night. Izzy says that Tatum winning is a victory for the Culling. She's not sure if Zaria and Sol Ruca will walk up with the championship tonight. Okay, that's fine. Next, this leads us into Ethan Page defeating Dr. Wagner Jr. in the night. My bad. In the Day of the Dead match for the NXT North American Championship. Really solid match. Ethan Page impressed me here. Ethan Page has been such a good heel, but I am so ready for him to be on the main roster. I really feel that it's time that he needs to be on the main roster. At some point, he needs to be on the main roster. But this heel run that he's been doing for the past 6 months has been phenomenal. It's been chef's kiss. Really, really good match. This match was fun here. Ethan Page ended up bringing in a steel chair Dr. Wagner ended up bringing in a steel chair and kicking Ethan Page straight in the ass, which was kind of funny there. So, in the middle of the match, Dr. Wagner Jr. and Ethan Page, they're fighting outside. And he ended up doing a drop toe hold to the throat of Dr. Wagner Jr., which was insane. I was like, damn. So there's probably some internal bleeding there, because I was like, damn. And Ethan Page ended up using one of the props for the Halloween Havoc show. He ended up using one of them and choking out Dr. Wagner Jr. with it. It was actually a skeleton leg, which was pretty cool there. So Dr. Wagner, towards the end of the match, he ended up hitting a wicked coast to coast, which was great. Because Dr. Wagner is probably like a good 230, 240. Because he's built. Like, he's stocky, but he's built. Ethan Page, he ripped the mask open, which was great. And basically, Dr. Wagner Jr. started hulking up, which was fucking awesome. The crowd chanted, holy shit. He ended up getting in some comeback moves, like a couple clotheslines, a couple drop kicks and stuff, a couple chops, which was great. Then the finish came when Ethan Page ended up bringing in some powder. He threw it into the eyes of Dr. Wagner Jr., and he ended up hitting the Twisted Grin, which is a twist of fate, through the table for the 1, 2, 3. Great stuff here. Very fun match. I thoroughly enjoyed it. I really thought that WWE was going to give it to Dr. Wagner Jr., but maybe he'll get it either by deadline in early December, or maybe even at New Year's Evil next year in January. New Year's Evil is usually in early January. It's like usually the first week of January. So maybe they'll end up giving it to him then. But I do think that Ethan Page will be on the main roster either during WrestleMania season or the Raw or SmackDown after Mania. But I do think it is time for Ethan Page to be called up, you know. But I would be lying to you guys to say that I did not, that I'm not enjoying Ethan Page. You know, this heel run is fucking awesome. And Booker T on commentary was so good. He's the greatest champion ever. Booker T is so good on commentary. He's good. He's hilarious. He is. He's hilarious. I love Booker T. I know he's not everybody's cup of tea, but Booker T is so damn good. I love him on commentary. Moving on, this leads us into Kalani Jordan and Jordynne Grace. They were backstage. So Jordan's not buying Kalani Jordan's new cocky attitude. She tried that before in the past and it didn't work out. Jordynne is not sure what Kalani's actual problem is with her. Is it because she doesn't like her? Kalani was the sweet girl next door that everybody loves. Kalani thinks it is funny that Jordynne Grace thinks that she knows her so well when they only had like 2 conversations with each other. Kalani continues to poke fun at Jordynne Grace not capturing a championship in in NXT. Kalani is waiting to have a conversation with Santina Marella so she can find out who her next challenger is. Jordynne Grace says that Kalani's attitude is starting to cross the line. Jordynne has a long history with Santino, and she would have no problem with putting Kalani in her place. And then Kalani then makes fun of Jordan about saying that she can't hold the weight, and Jordan smacks the shit out of her, and Kalani says she'll pay for that. So I do like this. It's really good. They're teasing a heel turn for Kalani, which is great. It makes perfect sense. I think they're supposed to have a match on Tuesday, on this upcoming Tuesday, for the TNA Knockouts Championship, which is fine. That'll probably main event the show anyway, for being honest. So good stuff there. I like that. I really do. Moving on. So on November 25th on November 18th and 25th, NXT is going to be presenting a 2-week special called Gold Rush. So championships from NXT, TNA, AAA, and Evolve are going to all be defended. That's cool. They've done Gold Rush in the past, and it's been basically successful. I think they've been doing Gold Rush since, I want to say, 2023. So, yeah, I do like that. Good stuff. I like it. Really good shit there. Really good stuff. I'm excited. I'm really excited for that. Moving on. This leads us into Mariah May defeating Zaria to become the new NXT Women's Champion. It's no longer vacated. So Sol Ruca, she was out there to accompany Zaria at ringside. So Zaria got in a bunch of power moves and stuff and everything. Mariah May ended up working on the arm throughout most of the match. She ended up getting her in like several arm bars and wrist takedowns and shoulder blocks and all that stuff. You know, just to work on the shoulder, stomping the shoulder. So in the middle of the match, Mariah May and Zaria, they're fighting out on the outside. Zaria was going to go for, I think, a spear. Mariah got out of the way. Zaria ended up, ramming her shoulder in the steel steps. So she was selling it for about a good 30, 40 seconds. Then, for whatever reason, Sol Ruca threw Zaria into the ring post, and then Zaria started hawking up, doing a bunch of clotheslines and stuff, which is pretty cool. A couple of German suplexes. Then Zaria hit a couple of spears for a 2 count for both of those spears. And then towards the end of the match, Mariah May went outside the ring again. She lightly tapped Sol Ruca. She went down like a ton of bricks, which was insane. And then Mariah ended up hitting the glamour shot outside, and then she threw Zaria back in for another glamour shot for the 1, 2, 3. Zaria loses, and Mariah May wins. So this makes perfect sense. It really does. I'm a fan of this. I'm guessing what they're going to do with Zaria is maybe, I don't know what they could really do with Zaria. Zaria losing fair and square, losing clean is insane to me. But I am fine with Zaria losing. This does make sense. Maybe we see this upcoming Tuesday where Zaria turns heel. So Zaria would have to turn heel after this. So I don't know. But, Zaria, when she came in NXT last year, she had to play third best to Stephanie Vacker and Julia when they were down there, because they were killing it down there for a while. They were hot-shotted very, very quickly, whereas Zaria was just there, and they ended up putting her in a tag team. Really wasn't doing much, but Zaria needs to kind of turn heel on Sol Ruca, so hopefully that does happen. Moving on. So Ren Sinclair is having another a FaceTime conversation with Charlie Dempsey. Carmen Petrovich and Kendall Gray, they're eavesdropping. So Charlie Dempsey asked Ren about her reimagining the NQCC. Kendall's not backing down to Last Legend. Last tells Kendall that things are different on NXT. It's time that Kendall faces a real NXT superstar. Kendall Gray tells Lash Legend that they can have this match on NXT this upcoming Tuesday, and she's willing to put her Evolved Women's Championship on the line. Lash says that the Evolved Women's Championship will be snatched on Tuesday. So I do like that. And they probably will end up doing that anyway for Lash, because Lash does need something. I don't know if Lash is ready for the main roster this year. I really don't know what you would do with Lash on the main roster. I wouldn't bring up Lash for at least another 6 months to a year. So that's what I would do. I mean, clearly she's ready and everything else, but I don't think Triple H would have any long-term plans for her. Like, he's somebody that will put Lash on the shelf, showcase her for a month, at best 2 months, and then just put her on the shelf for a while. And I don't want that to happen to Lash, because Lash is so damn good. Moving on, this leads us into Tatum Paxley defeating Jacy Jayne to become the new NXT Women's Champion. This was great. The crowd was super into this. Very hype. Early on in the match, they were fighting on the outside, Jacy Jayne and Tatum Paxley. And Jacy Jayne ended up doing a toss under the ring apron. And it was nasty. So I thought right then and there that the match was going to be kind of thrown out or whatever, but Tatum kept coming back from that. So then the Culling, they got involved. Fallon Henley and Laney Reed got involved in the match as well. They ended up being ejected also. The same happened with the Culling. So they got taken out. Then Jacy Jayne, she ended up taking control again. She almost hit the rolling encore for the win, but Tatum Paxley got out of the way. And then, like I said before, there was a brawl between the Culling and the Fatal Influence. So Izzy Dame, she came back with the NXT Women's Championship. It looked like Izzy was going to hit Tatum, but she got out the way. So this allowed for Jacy Jayne to hit... No, my bad. I apologize. So Jacy Jayne ended up getting hit with the title, and then Paxley hit the cement... the cemetery driver for the 1, 2, 3. And the crowd went wild for this. This was really, really good shit here. I thoroughly enjoyed this. This was great. Good stuff. It makes perfect sense. Right decision. Clearly, we know that they're saving the heel turn for this Tuesday, which is great. So that makes perfect sense. I do like this. Really good shit here. Maybe Jacy Jayne is going to get her call up. Maybe. We don't know. SmackDown could definitely use her on the main roster or Raw. So either or, Jacy Jayne would be an improvement. I feel like you can still leave Fallon Henley and Laney Reed down at NXT for a little bit longer and then bring them up. But it's definitely time for Jacy Jayne to move on from NXT. You can go ahead and just give her a rematch on Tuesday, and then when she loses, you send her to the main roster. That's what needs to occur. She doesn't need to be on Deadline in December. She doesn't need to be at Gold Rush in mid to late November. It doesn't need to happen. That needs to end. She needs to go to the main roster. It's time. She's been in NXT for 4 years. It's time. It's either sink or swim. It really, truly is. But that match was solid. I love that match. Really good stuff. Moving on. So, Miles Bourne and Tavion Heights, they're bickering with each other in Ava's office. Both want a shot at Josh Briggs. Tavion says that Miles Bourne already had a match with Briggs. Now it's his turn. Miles says that if it wasn't for him, Tavion would be stuck in the NQCC. So Ava then makes a match between Tavion Heights and Miles Bourne is going to be on this upcoming Tuesday on NXT. Okay, whatever. I mean, that's fine, but they should just keep these guys as a tag team, really. There's no point trying to push these guys as singles guys. They've done it before, and both have failed. So let's make them a tag team, because NXT doesn't need tag teams. That's what they should do. Moving on. Deadline is going to be on December 6th, which is good. So it's going to take place in San Antonio, Texas, at the Boeing Center at Techport. So that should be interesting there. Shawn Michaels' hometown. Good stuff. Moving on. Darkstate. They defeat the Hardyz. This was just, a broken rules match. I kind of figured, since all four of the guys were legal from Darkstate, I kind of felt that the Hardyz were going to lose this because it was only the NXT Tag Team Championships that were on the line. So I knew they were probably going to switch those titles. And they ended up doing it. But it is what it is. So Darkstate ended up hitting the Doomsday device to a table for the 1, 2, 3. It's just a typical broken rules match, steel chairs, ladders, tables, just a variety of stuff. So there is that. I don't really care about Darkstate. I really don't. Moving on. This leads us into Jevon Evans and Leon Slater. They have unfinished business with Darkstate. So they should go for the NXT Tag Team Championships. Leon has a pretty busy schedule with being the X Division champion, but when he has free time, he's locked in. So I like that. So good stuff there. Good stuff. Main event of the evening. Ricky Saints defeats Trick Williams to retain the NXT Championship. This match was fun here. I thoroughly enjoyed this match. Trick whooped the hell out of Ricky Saints in this match. He got a lot of, offense in and everything. Trick ended up hitting a trick shot in the match, and Ricky Saints ended up kicking out of it. So, Trick went for the bookend, and Ricky Saints kicked out of that. So the finish came when Ricky hit a spear, and he followed it up with the Revolution DDT for the 1, 2, 3. And Ricky Saints retained. I thought the Oba family was going to show up here, but he didn't. Because Oba's been gone for 4 weeks now. If he doesn't show up on NXT this Tuesday, then he would have been gone for 4 weeks. And I don't think the Oba is ready for the main roster yet. I really don't. Don't bring him up. Don't bring him up just yet. He should have a showing in the Royal Rumble next year for sure, but he doesn't need to be on the main roster. I don't know what you do with Oba. Maybe you do give him a rematch. I would probably do that at Deadline. Maybe. I don't know. Or you could do it at New Year's Evil. But we need to get the rematch between Ricky and Oba soon. And then what I would do is basically put Oba in some more personal feuds and then bring him up on the main roster maybe around the middle part of 2026, so around June or July of next year. That's really what should happen. But I think NXT needs some fresh blood. Trick has lost. You can still do a rematch, one more match out of this. Obviously, you could either wait and do it at Gold Rush, or you could do it at Deadline. So, however they want to do it. To end the show, Tatum Paxley, she's celebrating backstage. No, in the parking lot with the Culling. Tatum says that this was the greatest night of her life. Sarah Schreiber then asked Izzy Dame why she returned to ringside. Izzy doesn't answer the question and wants to keep the focus on Tatum. And so Tatum Paxley says things are going to get crazier on NXT, and then that was it. So this was good. This makes perfect sense here. I do like this. I'm a fan of this. I really, truly am. So good stuff here. A really good, solid 2.5 hour show. I could have done without the co-main event. really and truthfully, the co-main should have been Izzy Dame. My bad. Should have been Tatum Paxley and Jacy Jayne. I think that would have been better. You basically would have sent the crowd home happy twice. But it is what it is. Tatum Paxley winning was the right move. Ricky retaining was the right move as well. Ethan Page retaining was the right move. Mariah May winning, perfect sense. Zaria needs to turn heel for sure. So this was a very solid, fun 2.5-hour show. And I thoroughly enjoyed Halloween Havoc. I thought it was really good. I really did. And I'm glad that they kept the Halloween theme alive. The arena that they were in looked really good and everything. So good stuff. What did you guys think of Halloween Havoc? Like, comment, subscribe. Peace.